Welcome back to Full Count Podcast. What a whirlwind of a World Series. It was one of the most exciting ones I've ever seen. We're going to talk a little bit about those highlights because who did we just have on recently? Tyler Glasnow, Dodger pitcher. He came on our podcast. It was one of the best podcasts we've had, of course. I mean, how can you blame me for thinking that, right? We've had some amazing guests, but Tyler came on. I asked him, how do you undergo all this pressure and still perform so well? And his advice, trust your training and don't think about your emotions. I know it's easier said than done. I would recommend you take a look at that podcast coming from an athlete, super athlete like him, who just won his second World Series now back to back. So this video, I will also be predicting where I believe the Dodger player Alex Call will be purchasing real estate, at least in terms of price point, because several months ago when he got traded to the Dodgers with his contract at that time, I was predicting he would buy anywhere from like 1.8 million to 2.2 million. But now with this instilled confidence and the prize pool money that you get as a player when you win, I think that price point is going to change a little bit. So we'll get into that. 3 balls, 2 strikes, pressure is on. This is where we discuss real estate, property improvement, and business. Together, we'll strategize on how to win. Welcome to the Full Count. One of the best World Series I've ever seen. My emotions were just so intense the entire time, especially because, I know him. So I got to see him play game 3, 6, and 7 in the most pressure, crazy moments of any baseball player's career and as a fan, right? I honestly did think the Blue Jays were going to have it. I feel like they were a slightly bit better in terms of the offense. But the Dodgers came through, and I think the reason being is they're so consistent. They're just always consistent, no matter what. They other teams have their highs and their lows, but these guys are just consistent, and they got it done. I mean, just with Game 6 alone, Tyler came in at the bottom of the 9th inning. I believe there was only 1 out. There was already someone on second and third base, and he had to go ahead and close that out at the very end. That's when he came in. And what did he do? He threw his 2-seamer fastball that ended up working on these pitches for all this that took place. It was amazing. I didn't even know that this was a reintroduced 2-seamer fastball or a newer fastball in general that he had done. And we'll take a look at this quick video to kind of have you see that. But more so, I want to see that replay of how that went down with Kike Hernandez also getting that ball in the outfield and throwing to second base. And then Miguel Rojas grabbing that ball and falling over. That was marvelous. I don't think anybody can really do that. You kind of got to be born with that gift to be able to tackle that ball and not drop it, essentially, right? So here we are, bottom of the 9th, 1 out. Roki Sasaki had just came out. Tyler Glasnow comes in, and his 2-seamer fastball, check it out. The batter right before where he popped up and Freddie Freeman caught it. So that was a 1 out. I think earlier I might have said that there was already 1 out, but it was actually 0 outs, which is even freaking worse. And then you have Tyler throw another 2-seamer from what I understand, and then this takes place. So let's take a look.
Jimenez floats on left field. Hernandez makes the catch. Back to second.
How can you catch that, man? This is freaking incredible. So that got them to game 7 because of this. So the dude killed it. Let's take a quick look at the 2-seamer fastball that Tyler talked about at the very beginning of the season. And he spoke to someone in Japan. So this is what got it done. So it's quite amazing. But let's take a look.
Seems for righties, and I think that it ran pretty good inside. Just trying to locate it in, and
amazing.
I got the quick out, and that always feels good to get like the first out. And then I threw another 2-seam and got another out. And
double play, yeah.
New coming for us this year?
Not really. The 2-seam was kind of new at the end of last year. And I threw
How do you throw that?
Like this.
Okay.
And it's helpful for me too because I'm never directly behind anything. I'm always like 80% efficient. So if I'm a little late with my heater, it just rides a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like if I have a crappy 4-seamer, it's like
and it worked. Okay, so then we get to game 7, which it was not looking good for the Dodgers. The Blue Jays were doing so well in the offense. And, it was just one of those moments where it's kind of heartbreaking watching it, especially if you're a Dodger fan. It was not good. I saw the dugout. The players didn't seem so, excited and woken up. They were kind of like dreary about the situation because it was 3-1. So then Justin Robelski's up there. He's pitching, right, in the 4th inning. And then Jimenez, however you pronounce that, he goes up. He tries to get hit by Justin. He purposely tries to put his hand in so he can get hit and go for a walk. And then a few pitches later, right after, Justin ends up hitting him. And the whole, benches clear out. And it was just really cool to see that because I'll tell you in a minute, but let's just watch it actually. Oh, this is great. F you, mother effer, is what he says. That woke everybody up. It woke me up as a fan. It was great. It was really cool. And I'm going for the Dodgers because Glasnow's on our team, right? Or he came on my podcast, so I have that loyalty to him. So through and through. And just the other day, Mookie Betts had Justin on, and he told everyone on his podcast, all his other teammates that were on there, that situation when the bench is cleared really woke up the Dodgers, and he felt like that gave him some extra, adrenaline to keep going and actually win the game. And things really turned around, and that's what happened. The Dodgers ended up winning. Miguel Rojas then he ends up doing a phenomenal defense move where a ground ball gets hit to him, and then just by a small little margin, he ends up getting the out at home. And if that would have gone in, it would have been game over, I think. I mean, let's take a quick look at that as well.
Away. Varsho. Roller to second. Rojas comes home in time.
I think if the slide would have taken place, dove with his hands in, I think he would have probably been safe. But it ended up being an out just by very, very little. I mean, look at the bag, and then look at Will Smith's foot. It barely got there, just right before in time, just by a small little margin. And everything's about the margin. The margin of error is everything, like Al Pacino said in that one movie with football.
Life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch.
Miguel Rojas, great defense. And then what did he end up doing? He ended up hitting a home run that got them going. And if it wasn't for him, it would have been done. Same with Will Smith and Max Muncy hitting a home run to help them win the ball game. And Glasnow also pitched in that game as well, so that was cool. But let's talk about that one play in the outfield with Baez and Kike Hernandez, which everybody's talking about. That image will go down in history, I think. Hopefully they make a bobblehead out of it. We might actually make a t-shirt out of it, and I'll be giving it out to some clients and maybe some viewers, just FYI. So we'll see about that. But the ability for Dave Roberts to take out Tommy Edman in center field right in that 9th inning was genius. I guess because Baez has a stronger arm than Edman, so he put him in. And as soon as he put him in there, that fly ball went to directly in between Kike and Baez, and that play took place, and we'll take a quick look at that as well. He just laid him out. You hear the Blue Jay fans. I mean, that was insane. Insane. So they ended up winning. Yamamoto killed it also, of course. He came in and he was the MVP, as he should be. And then John Schneider, who's the manager for the Blue Jays, was asked the whole like David and Goliath. And he said it was not even
David versus Goliath. It's not even fucking close.
Right. He was basically alluding to the fact they were both Goliaths. And in many cases, I think a lot of people believe in some ways the Blue Jays were just a tad bit better, at least this year, maybe. But the Dodgers, as I had mentioned, they were just so consistent, and that's what got them to win. And I think the mindset that the Dodgers have, all the players on there, I think that's what got them to win that game. So maybe it was always the Dodgers in the first place being the better team. But in any case, let's go with Alex Cole. He got traded to the Dodgers around the summer of this year. And obviously that was a great move for him because now he's got a World Series ring under his belt. So that's amazing. But his contract was like under $700,000 essentially. And my prediction was he would probably be buying anywhere from $1.8 million to $2.2 million, putting $400,000 down. And I think that's what it was anyways. I also mentioned how I was going off of like qualifying him for a loan, quote unquote, qualifying him for a loan at the income of like $400,000 per month. You divide that by 12 to kind of get what your max is and payout of what you have in terms of money every month. And that's about $33,000 a month. And what I did was a debt to income ratio. You should always be, it all varies anywhere from like people say from 30% all the way up to some people go to 43.5 to 45 in some rare occasions. But that's obviously on the high side. The higher debt to income ratio, the worse. So when you get qualified for a loan, you want to be at the very low end. The lower, the better. Financial advisors want you to stay under 33% from what I understand. I'll talk to my friend Brett Sifling at Gerber Kawasaki at some time. I'll probably have him on the podcast. He can kind of go over that. But essentially, what all this comes down to is if we had Alex Call under, let's say, 35%, his mortgage would have to be around the $12,000 mark. And if he bought a house for $2.2 million, which I was thinking he'd buy in Studio City or maybe the South Bay potentially, but Studio City is like relatively closer to the Dodger Stadium, then he would probably be looking at a $12,200 to $12,800 per month with $400,000 down, 30-year fixed mortgage at 5.9% interest rate probably. That's kind of where I was leaning on. But when you're a baseball player that wins a World Series, you get a bonus from the prize pool money of all the ticket sales and the revenue that took place. So let's take a quick look at that, because in 2024, I think that was like the biggest one. 2025 is going to even be bigger. So according to what I see here, about 36% of the pool of money from the World Series goes to the winning champion team, which would be the Dodgers. And in 2024, it was the largest record of, 129.1 million for the Dodgers shares, totaling of approximately, when you do that 36% of that pool of money, and then you split it up with the players, it's about $477,441 for each player to assume that bonus. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs if that's the case, but that's essentially what this article had came down to. And 2025 is going to be a lot bigger. So let's just say it's going to be $500,000 per player, assuming Alex Call gets that. I predict he's going to probably buy a house. Instead of going at 2.2, he's going to go closer to 3. And it's probably going to be in Pasadena now instead of the Valley for some reasons. But if he was to buy this house, and this is one of the homes I kind of came across, I don't know particularly if this would be for him, but just because of the price point, let's take a quick look. It's like a cool mid-century modern, cool house. I mean, it's in a great community, great area. Whoever the realtor is, I'm probably sure they're going to be happy I'm showing this, but it's a sweet home. I mean, it's got that like bungalow craftsman-like feel to it, but it is more of a mid-century modern home. Definitely needs some spice up to spruce it up a little bit. But if he was to buy something like this, and it's got a pool in the backyard, so if he bought this for 2.8 million, let me see if I can get to the pool. I mean, that's pretty sick, guys. I mean, it's a quick commute to the stadium. Detached garage, and then you got that. That's epic. That's like a little office. So his wife, if she works from home or whatever it might be, I'm sure she would love that. But it's a sweet pad. I mean, maybe some upgrading here and there, but okay. So in any case, if he was to go ahead and buy that property, then we're looking at a mortgage instead of like $12,200 because of that bonus. I think if he was to get a mortgage, it would only go up about $2,000. So the monthly mortgage on that house for $2.8 million, if he was to buy that, would be approximately $14,751 per month. Because if he buys it at $2.8 million, he puts not $400,000 down anymore, because that's what we had, or that's what I had predicted before. Now he's going to double it. So now it's going to be $800,000. He's going to have no PMI because that's close to 30%. 30-year fix at now, instead of a 5.9% interest rate, now it's going to come down to a 5.8 interest rate, because 3 months ago interest rates were a lot higher. The common person will not get a 5.8% interest rate maybe right now. Actually, they might if they pay points, but actually Alex Call, because he's got large institutional bank he'd probably work with, he'd probably get something closer to 5.3. So let's change that and update it, because it was 14,751. Let's say some large institutional banks like Alex Call, we know you're going to get a bigger contract. We want you to keep your money here with us. We're going to get you a better interest rate. And this happens with anyone that has a lot of money in the bank. So that's going to drop to, It only dropped $600, but either way, that's good. So long story short, everybody, what I'm thinking now that he's a World Series champ, more instilled confidence knowing that he's got that World Series ring and he's probably going to stay with the Dodgers longer. I suspect he's going to go up in purchase price at least $600,000. His mortgage is only going to go up $2,000 more because he got that World Series ring. He's a young guy, so I don't expect him to go balls to the wall and get something huge. But that's my prediction. Let me know what you think. If you think that makes sense or he's going to go more in the $5 million, please share. If you think my prediction is crap and dog crap, then tell me that. I just want to hear from you, so keep me posted. I would love to see what you think of a baseball player, what type of property, price point, and what their monthly mortgage might look like. If you have any questions, also feel free to jot down the real estate questions and I'll get them out to you. We'll be doing more podcasts, real estate related, as we always do. And again, we like having guests on that's baseball related or anything with real estate and business. And then current events. I love talking about current events. So anyways, like, subscribe, share this with your friends, family, and we'll just keep rolling out these videos and podcast episodes. And thank you so much for staying involved. And maybe we'll have another MLB player out here at some time soon. Tyler was great. Maybe we'll get him on sometime next year. So in any case, have a good one, guys, and we'll talk soon.